morning and welcome to the 105th edition of Wake Up Takoma.
Today is Thursday, March 2nd. Hey, have you seen the poster around the school?
Oh yeah, I think so. Why?
Well, I heard it's an anonymous way to report issues around the school.
Like when I see there's a big mess in the bathroom?
Sure, or if you hear that some people are upset with each other and you think it may get worse.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So what does the form do?
The form gets emailed directly to all administrative, security, and our restorative justice coaches so they can get you the help that you need.
Cool, I'll use it. I know a couple of students who are having a beef.
Our top story today. It's Women's History Month. This year's Women's History Month has the theme of celebrating women who tell our stories. We will be featuring one such woman every day this month, and for today's daily dose of women's history, we are highlighting Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison is a critically acclaimed American novelist whose novel, The Song of the Solomon, published in 1977, brought her national attention and won her the National Book Critics Circle Award. In 1988, Morrison won the Pulitzer Prize for the novel Beloved and was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1993. Earlier in her life, Morrison became the first black female editor in fiction at Random House Publishing in the late 1960s. Morrison's works are praised for addressing the harsh consequences of racism in the United States and the Black American experience. She was honored with the National Book Foundation's Medal of Distinguished Contribution to American Letters the same year in 1996, and President Barack Obama presented her with the Presidential Medal of Freedom on May 29, 2012. An amazing woman and a perfect figure to begin our month honoring women's contributions to society.
Speaking of Women's History Month, they're today's sponsor.
March is celebrated as Women's History Month in the United States, Britain, and Australia, a time to honor women and recognize their impact on society throughout history. Women's History Month originally began as the annual observance of International Women's Day, falling on March 8th. It was way back in 1908 when thousands of women rallied in New York City for better working conditions and the right to vote. That gathering led to a bigger event when suffragists and women's rights groups gathered for the first International Women's Day in 1909. By 1911, women in other countries had joined the movement and began marching in honor of International Women's Day. In the United States, the observance came to the fore in the late 1970s when a feminist group in Santa Rosa, California, noticed a lack of women's achievements being taught in school curriculums. The group of women set out to change that. Their voices would eventually reach the White House. Their timing coincided with a formal worldwide recognition of International Women's Day by the United Nations in 1975. 2 years later, the World Organization deemed it an international holiday. The movement grew, leading President Jimmy Carter to establish a National Women's History Week beginning on March 8, 1980. States started to recognize and honor women throughout the whole month. By 1987, Congress had passed legislation officially establishing March as Women's History Month. History is filled with trailblazers, both men and women, in the fight for equality in the United States. Suffragists like Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton fighting for women's right to vote. Black seamstress Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat to a white man on a bus, helping launch the civil rights movement. President John F. Kennedy signing the Equal Pay Act, prohibiting sex-based wage discrimination in 1963. President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1964, banning employment discrimination based on race, religion, national origin, or sex. Betty Friedan, author of The Feminine Mystique, founding National Organization for Women in 1966. Hillary Clinton becoming the first female nominee for president by a major political party. And this year, Kamala Harris, sworn in as the first woman and first woman of color Vice President of the United States.
Welcome back.
And now a word from Miss D.
Good rising, Takoma Park Middle School. Thank you for helping me honor, during Black History Month, which is American history, General Harriet Tubman. Few things about her for you to remember. Yes, she led an army in the American Civil War. She was a spy. She was the conductor on the Underground Railroad. She did over 13 journeys, and that totaled up to be about 26,000 laps around the track. So just remember that these sheroes that we will be honoring for Women's History Month, which Toni Morrison, I understand, was honored this morning. Toni Morrison did attend a historical black college. Yes, a historical black college, HBCU. So remember that I'll be sharing fun facts during Women's History Month. And now for our mindful moment. I've shared how to relax the body and the mind, of how to energize the body and the mind, and now let's reboot the body and the mind using affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that we say to ourselves to help us. So we're going to use our head movement. So as we inhale, we're going to turn our head to the left, and we're going to choose. I choose peace. And we're going to exhale and turn the head to the right. I am peace. And now we're going to come to center, and we're going to affirm peace. And now you can use whatever word you want. Inhale, I choose joy. I am joy. I affirm joy. I choose wisdom. I am wisdom. I surrender to wisdom. As we honor those that have ended up in a situation because of natural disasters, man-made disasters, let's take a moment of silence to honor them. Let's be MLK, be mindful, be loving, and be kind. Until next time, back to you.
Thanks, Ms. D. There will be no GSA meeting after school. We will meet next week on Thursday, March 9th. That's it. Please remember to stay tuned for the Mindfulness Minute. Try to calm your mind and concentrate on your breathing. This has been Thomas
And Bella with Wake Up Tacoma.
Have a great day.